How's it going, guys? This is Rob Stanson with TISP Research and Development, as well as Magneto, and pretty soon the perps will be calling me the Wrench. Anyways, you feel me? Try to get a good picture of this. See if you can read all that. I hope so. This is what I've been putting together for a while, and from my research, I put together all the color schemes. That's why they call it a color scheme. One day, right here, I was really pushing in my eyes, and if you push in your eye sockets and then let go and then cover your eyes, you get a picture of them, because, sometimes, I just, because my third eye's open, so, I got vision, and I see their drones all the time, so I just put it together, and it came up, this drone right here, it's called Surveillance CE drone. What I found is Nightingale Security. They're actually voted #1 best as far as security or whatever, I'm sure, by the United States. But, who's going to go in there and complain? But you guys can now. This is the symbol that I saw on top of this sucker. This is what I saw and put together. And then you got operators, they've been up there for a while. No, who's going to say anything? Because the only people they attack are people that they think that won't say anything or won't figure it out, because that's why every TI, they're thrown all over the place. They think it's their neighbors. People feel weird. What they do is they put things in other people's heads, and they'll tell them if they drink or do drugs or whatever, they can get in their head a lot easier. But they'll tell them, hey, this guy's a dirtball or this and that and here and there, and I mean, it's crazy. I ran into someone and I just wanted to break in her horse, and I was like, heck yeah, a real horse, and then she was like, I'm gonna take 3 shots of whiskey. I was like, right on, cool. And next she started saying, I don't want to wear a mask. I'm a good person, because I was wearing a respirator for a while until I ran a Corella, and I was like, wow. Just because she was drinking, I mean, that's why in the Bible it says, drink lightly or whatnot, and I mean, this is foretold. I mean, it's funny, but it's for real, and I mean, just like the Bible says, it says the angel of light, which is the drones above, they look like lights, stars, and they look like angels from afar. And they put visions in my eyes when they're closed and stuff like that, of angels floating up in the sky and stuff like that. It's a bunch of BS. And as you can see, I mean, the deceiver, the devil, and that's what he does. He deceives, and he's acting. He plays both parts. You know what I mean? And he's like, he'll do evil things if he don't like you, or if they don't like you. It's a joint. It's a joint because with all the United Nations and since America put out terrorists, and these terrorists, Islam people, they were mind controlled. They were mind controlled to do all this stuff, and then given the opportunity to make these movements, and that's what started this in the first place. That way they can get these drones up and start depopulating. It's really sinister from behind the scenes, but if these drones weren't up a long time ago, I mean, they've been doing things since the late 50s and then 60s, when they put out LSD and then started working people's minds. That's when you started getting a whole lot of murders, a whole lot of serial killers, and it just, these people are working these people's minds, and they don't even know it, and that's, and that's what the Bible referred to as the devil, and you know, and you gotta understand, freaking, that's why they push these drones. Is they use radio frequencies, send them throughout. That's why in the United States you can't get an RF, 8 VHF, UHF jammer, because they're jamming shit in people's heads, and they want full reign freedom to do whatever the fuck they want to us, down here in the, civilian, poor, freaking working class, because they're in everybody's heads. Okay, straight up, they're in everybody's heads. Like I said, I could see beams go into each house and jolts every 4 seconds. It's depopulation. If you look right there, the chemtrails. See, they can carry their projection. Like, say you got a drone here. This guy can branch out. Freaking he has to have one frequency, but he can branch out behind you, in front of you, above you, but the connection's up above. And they work in these teams and stuff, and you can't even tell because they're all stars. But I could see between the chemtrails the energy to view you, the viewing monitor. But through these chemtrails, because it has barium, and barium, and that's radiation. It's like a fine powder, and when they initiate these beams, like for red, for instance, and that disorient. It increases addiction, habits. It kind of disorients you a little bit, and it makes you tired a little bit. Messes with your eyes. They use that a lot. And the green is the worst because that's radiation. It makes you zombie-like. If your eyes get watery, that's the radiation in the air. See, when they hit these particle beams, that you can barely see, you're using UV, but you can see them when your eyes are closed. A red little hue, or a yellow one, or a green one, or a blue one, and and a purple one. Purple one makes you tired and sleepy and stuff. But with the green, it will activate that radiation of the barium, and your eyes will start watering. I'm back to Mother Earth, so I can drive in an area next to Barstow, and literally I could feel the radiation from PG&E, and that's bad. But when they trigger it and hit the chemtrails, it triggers things and triggers the colors. When they hit those frequencies, and when it hits your eyes, because your brain's a computer. And your eyes will receive and will go to the program that they probably already entered in your head. Because if you have pain in your head, and if you've gone through a time where you had freaking just your eyes were burning and your head was smashed, they got alignment bars already set up, fried into your eyes. Because if you look at a microscope, you can see the reflection in your eyes, and you can see the lines, or in the sun. But they'll run these programs, and it will automatically trigger the frequencies as well, because your brain's already locked on with this invisible freaking, freaking, I don't know, I don't think it's a chip. I honestly think the chemtrails, in the system, in the blood, that slows down the brain, dries it out because of aluminum and aluminum oxide, and dries it out, slows up the blood flow, and clogs up your arteries and just the flow of your mind. You got to remember, another thing, and what they do is, when you're having these series of headaches and stuff, they can actually etch in your brain, with the particle beam. And besides, if you look up laser surgery or whatnot, the lasers will always go to the lesion where you have an injury or pain. That's why, that's why I kind of think they switched the words when Jesus asked him, "Who are you?" And it's like, Legion. What I really honestly think it is lesion. Because when they hit these beams to a damaged part of your brain, it will always go to the lesion. To the lesion. And the thing you gotta watch out for is that they'll make those lesions and stuff, and they'll constantly hit it. That's why I say get a moon metal cap, get some silver. I mean, if you gotta hammer it, some silver to the shape of your head, get a ball on eBay or whatever. Be a little expensive, but I'm ordering some after I'm done with this video from eBay and stuff, and because silver, look, I got the silver over my heart. Let me show this real fast. I'm gonna change the bottom one with silver instead of brass. And it's. I mean, they can't. My heart's healed. I mean, so healed that I'm like a freaking teenage heart. I mean, it feels good, and even when they hit you with jolts to try to get you that double skip or whatever, and give you palpitations or anxieties, and it just won't happen. And so my heart's healthy. But, you guys got, look at that. When you just aluminum, your blood flow dries out the brain, controlling the mind with frequencies of mind control. Control of the masses are coming from, those Gwen Towers. Gwen Towers and HARP. You got HARP as well, sending it along the ionosphere and just, giving the drones the power and stuff. This is a big thing, because I'm sure before drones they reverse engineered. Maybe if there was an extraterrestrial, I don't have proof, but I'm thinking that there's been technology been here for a while. Radio frequencies alone are a very ancient skill. But someone can send waves with RF and bounce it off the ionosphere, and they can pick it up with the computer, as well, in the area where a target's at, or any given area, and eavesdrop, as far as like the mind reading and everything else, as they tap into our frequency. And it's crazy because, here's another thing to remember. That's why you got these little, because, nobody has figured out anything. Who's doing it? They think it's the neighbors, this and that, here and there. Sometimes it is. That's how I got in this. And I was being rolled, but it backfired. And that's because I'm used to people doing that to me. And see, some of these places, they're so cocky, and you can tell it's a bunch of young people. Because, those sister company, and branch off to nefarious jobs or revenge for hire, And one thing to remember is that these drones can actually feed you. Damn, dude. They can feed you drugs. They can feed you drugs through a frequency. Literally a frequency. Speed. That's a frequency. LSD, they hit me once with that, and I was like, I better cover my eyes all the time, because, I don't know if you can overdose off a frequency, but I ain't freaking about to have that, because I wear radiation glasses to cover my eyes from the radiation when they hit my eyes, and it's been working beautifully, it's just, I think that's why some of these people are getting, like, crack. I don't know. They get them to do things, and they offer me. It was like, we could give you, a frequency for drugs or this and that. I'm like, I don't want your drugs. I'm not taking the hand of the devil. I'm not doing that. Then he's like, I want you to do this, kill these people. You never know. Screw that. You gotta remember, the chemtrails. The reason for it is not GM or geoengineering, or it's not global warming. It's none of that. It's actually causing global warming. It's actually causing global warming, and it's actually causing blocking out the sun. That's why the freaking glaciers are just falling apart, because it causes humidity. And when it causes humidity, because I'm in the high desert, and in the high desert, it doesn't get humid. It does not get humid. It's dry and hot. And they just really, and we've been getting less and less rain, but what they're doing is just, they created a computer screen in our atmosphere, in our world, inside our house, inside our rooms, inside our toilet, because they can shoot an eye, and I'll look down and I'll take a piss or whatever, and I'll see an eye in the toilet. Like, sit down when you pee. I'm like, hell no. And then I'll throw, I'll wipe myself off, and I throw it down, in the toilet, like, wipe yourself off, But I mean, they can shoot right here, and you can be sitting on a couch, and he can be, whispering in your ear. That's why they call it the snake. You can be in your garage. They can hit you anywhere, and then branch off to different areas. There's multiple of them. They look like stars, and they clone the solar system, and they always work in pairs. One thing is, see, I already went through, see, the red and the blue vision distortion, double vision, along with the purple, which the purple will make you really tired. So if you're driving, I'm telling you, if you drive and if you have a mix of the glasses that I wear, three types, two different types of NM in the 400 range, 190 to 445 NM, and then the other ones are 880 or something like that, but green and then pink. And then I wear X-ray glasses underneath, which is, I'm going to do a fold where I can flip them up, and because right now I'm wearing a pair of glasses over another pair of glasses, and my brim of my nose is hurting. But that's why you're getting your heart palpitations, because they'll go and frequency through your eyes, and they'll frequency through your ears. And the ears too, your brain will pick up that programming, or pick up that signal or frequency, and trigger your brain, trigger your eyes. And those are control factors. You have to shield your brain, you have to shield your eyes, you have to shield your ears. If you knew the freedom that I have is a whole hell of a lot more than the people that are free and not targeted. And I deal with a little radiation here, and little gag reflexes to throw up, because I think that's the triggering of the radiation. Feel a little better, but that's just the way it is. And but yeah, I discovered this, and I already had it, And look at even this on Megadeth. Look at that, And look at that. Warheads on foreheads. They weaponized. And what they do, if you got your third eye open, they have it blocked. And look at all those weapons. And that's exactly what it is. With the drones. And what they do is you'll never even know it. You'll think it's someone else. They'll run through someone else's brain. Be careful when someone else is drinking, or you're at a bar or whatnot. Just, watch yourselves, and see, that's the kind of drone it is. Surveillance CE drones. Look at that. That's a good size. That's about the size they are up there. And they look like orbs. They look like stars, They will actually project an orb in the sky, or another drone or whatever, and move it like behind the clouds or up higher, and make you think they're invisible orbs moving about, and they'll move them fast, and they'll make you think that that's some spaceship or alien. Also, they can cloak. I've seen them cloak before. There's a closer up of that, and look at that thing. Just this little thing. It's weaponized from the frequencies that they can pull out from HARP and CERN. Come on now, really, CERN? Yeah, CERN is their power. You know, they hit the 0 point energy, free energy, and they have it up to a certain height. Because airplanes fly over these guys. And there's another one. I got a vision of this sucker, and I found him out. That's what I saw on top of that thing. I thought it was like 2 L's or whatever. But, I mean, that thing's totally weaponized. Look at that, once again. You know? You know, and then, you know, they're in California. They're in California. Look it up. I'm telling you, I'm on the money, because who else is running Homeland Security? And who is above us all the time? See, they're like acting like they're tired of watching us, but they're in everybody's brain. You know, I think that's the big apple. The apple, even in the Bible, you know, of knowledge of good and evil, forbidden knowledge. And guess what? Forbidden is being in someone else's brain, so nobody has any business. And here's one of the nefarious ones, you know. But I figure I'll add them all. And look at the things they say, you know. You know, the world's best revenge for hire service. Oh yeah, when it says the world, you know, oh, they're Homeland Security drone operators. Nefarious jobs, service which assists those in need with conflict resolution concerning a variety of offenses. We have you know, I mean, come on. Serious offenses. You know, I'm getting worked for revenge. You know, for one part, and another part, they don't like me. And another part is I bumped into one that is an operator as well. I think she was an operator in training. And she tried to roll me on the street and stuff like that. And she would call the cops and the landlord at the same time. I was like, for what? For a little bit of music playing in my garage? For, you know, not even loud enough for anything? And, you know, this is probably running off their computer. And, you know, and I mean, look at it. This is kind of, I don't know if someone put that there, but, you know, 666. But, I mean, that looks real enough to me. But if you find, you know, a regular person, maybe works in security, knows about radio frequencies, write a radio frequency book, that's into ham radio. You know, if this person got one of these in his garage or wherever, you know, you should, like, step out, because they're in your head. And be very careful, because you'll have this, and I've had that, and I've seen it before. And the guy's a ham radio operator, you know, and, you know, it just, I can read people, and I can see the guilt right in people's faces, you know, when they tell me, you know, shit, you know. You know, I mean, right here, you know, sometimes it makes me wonder, because these drone operators, I mean, to a point, I don't know if they have a you know, autopilot or whatnot, but sometimes they try to act human, but they're short. So, you know, they're verbalizing, you know, short, you know, just like a robot computer. They do visions in people's eyes and their brain, and when they got them closed, and that's all fake. That's all like the computer. So it's got to be something like this. I mean, look at these things. Imagine if one person had one of these in their house. Makes you kind of wonder, when he's not a big computer guy and he's not running a business out of his fucking, excuse my language, out of his house. What are you up to if you're a ham radio operator? And it kind of makes me wonder. But the other thing also is that, you know, some of these drone operators seem to be automated at some point. They'll probably run a program, so that's why sometimes maybe you'll have a not too shabby week, or you know, they'll have that program just run off of just a regular targeting. Okay, I'm getting close to my wrap up time, but you know, I mean, and there's a thing called hidden. You know, I catch this on one of my little gadgets and stuff, and I mean, how private contractors or ham radio operators target people frequencies around the world, you know, and this hidden kept on popping up, and look at all the things that kept on popping up. I know some of them are got to be my neighbors or whatnot, but, you know, hidden will pop up, you know, but there's more operators, and not all these people are my neighbors, you know. I only get about 3 or 4 of them, Same thing here. Look at the different codes on those things. I mean, it kind of makes you wonder. But I'm collecting evidence and stuff like that. And see, here's the different frequencies and stuff. I don't think I have green in there. Let's see, but that's for the most part of what I got down, the color scheme. I hope I left that long enough for you, but I mean, there's a quick little write-up and drawing I put together for my evidence files, and it's like, if we put the pieces together and we come up with who else, maybe they got someone that's piggybacking, but they're the only things up there, and every damn star is a freaking drone. With the chemtrails, I don't know if we're able to see the real stars, but I was born in '75, so those things have been up there all along, and they mess with people. I mean, to a point. Ever since I shielded my ears, if you can see, ever since I shielded my ears, freaking, I blocked out those hidden messages to get me to be out of character. And I was like, man, I mean, I'm a good person. Why do I have this sort of dark side? But it wasn't a dark side. It was just manipulating me. And it took me 9 days. 9 days after wearing these shielding over my ears. 9 days, and I was in a stupor. Because they're jamming frequencies in your ears big time. I mean, just jamming it in you. That's why your mind is going off, firing off like 100 miles an hour, and you're thinking this, you're thinking that, you're thinking this, you're thinking that. They're racing your mind, and you get these jammed in thoughts that really stir you up from being normal, and it's affecting a lot of people all around us. You just pay attention, you just talk to someone nicely, and like with my shielding, people ask me, and I talk to them, and people listen. This is not too far fetched, and I mean, they're pushing this new world order. We're gonna lose our freedoms, people. And what some of you youngsters don't understand, that you may think you're all right now, but look at where you're at now. You're not playing outside, getting out. I mean, things are more expensive. You're inside the house all the time. Inside is horrible because, all those electrical outlets, it's running off dirty energy. And in between that dirty energy sits in between that drywall, which will piggyback. I mean, you're in the worst place ever is in a house. Wi-Fi running, freaking cell phones towers pushing out the control to make people not look up, not pay attention, and focus on their life. And then they raise the prices, raise the rates, and next thing you're working on your life when you're getting depopulated. These people are taking that extra money because if you add up the Georgia Guidestones, when it says how much they want depopulated, which only leaves about 7.26% on Earth left, after I mean, all the people that are on Earth, that's not a whole lot. What does that add up to? The drone operators? Really, what does that add up to? Not a whole lot. And that's worldwide. And with the joint freaking, with Europe. I mean, look at Europe's getting destabilized. America's getting destabilized. Look at the politics. It's a freaking joke. You got people running with the master, the snake, and really going with this stuff. Democrats are really pushing. And you guys got to understand, we're going to lose our freedoms big time. They want everything we have. I mean, they want our lives. They're sending jolts every 4 seconds to your brain, whether you're targeted or not. Depopulation, wake up. Bye.